You'll receive free oil for the life of your tires. Parker Tire and Alignment in West Monroe. Just look for the car.
Call Sam Forecast first with meteorologist Brianna Medina.
Our cool temperatures have finally ended, and we're starting to see those warm temperatures and that humidity in our region once again. And as of this morning, the National Hurricane Center did announce that there is a tropical storm named Nicholas in the Gulf. But by the time Nicholas reaches the Arklamis, we're only going to be getting a marginal amount of rain. That was your forecast first, and you're watching NBC 10 News at 10.
Live from the NBC 10 Broadcast Center, this is your weather station. Voted Best of the Delta and Best Newscast and Weather by the Louisiana Association of Broadcasters. This is NBC 10 News, live at 10.
Well, coming up, President Biden announced new vaccine requirements to help curb the latest COVID surge.
And U.S. COVID cases top 41 million in latest overnight tally.
Hello, and thank you for joining us this evening. I'm Jeremy Harrell.
And I'm Gabrielle Pfeiffer. Breaking news tonight, the governor of Louisiana has issued a state of emergency ahead of Tropical Storm Nicholas.
Now, this comes at a time that many parts of Louisiana are still without power and recovering from Hurricane Ida.
That's right. Meteorologist Brianna Medina joins us live in the studio right now as we track this tropical storm. Right now, the governor says southwest Louisiana may see most of those impacts.
Brianna, I'm understanding they could see 10 to 20 inches of rain. How will that impact us here locally?
Well, locally, I mean, it is devastating because Ida has literally passed through Louisiana 2 weeks ago. But as of locally, we are not going to be expecting a lot of rain, although that is one of the main concerns. And you can see that it's starting to make landfall on Monday near the Rio Grande Valley, and then it's going to hug the coast of Texas, and then as it gets close to Houston, that's when it starts weakening into a tropical depression. But for our area in the Arklamis, we are only going to be expecting 2 to 6 inches of rain within the next couple of days. Now, that's still a little bit of concerning because it's still very early on, and the tropical storm Nicholas is still in the Gulf, so a lot of things can happen overnight. Now, we are going to be seeing a lot of cloud cover, but the main concerns and the majority of the rain that is going to be happening or take place, it's going to be along the coast of Texas and Louisiana. And we're also seeing, or we're actually having a lot of concern for the storm surges as well.
All right, so our chief meteorologist, Jared Floyd, will be tracking that all week. So be sure to stick with NBC 10 on air and online for those updates. Thank you, Brianna, for that. Well, on to coronavirus news. For 18 months, the COVID-19 pandemic has consumed our country. President Biden announced new federal vaccine requirements for as many as 100 million Americans.
That's right, Gabrielle. He's hoping those mandates will help curb the latest surge in cases. Now, hospitalizations and deaths, but as Washington correspondent Jesse Turner reports, there's growing opposition to complying with the mandates.
It shouldn't be a federal government one-size-fits-all.
Republican governors across the country are attacking President Biden's new plan to require vaccinations or weekly COVID testing at large employers.
We talked about the fact that we've historically had vaccination requirements in schools, but those have always come at the state level.
The federal rules apply to businesses with more than 100 employees and workers at health facilities that receive federal Medicare or Medicaid dollars, along with executive branch employees and federal contractors. On NBC's Meet the Press, Arkansas Governor Asa Hutchinson said he supports vaccinations, but argued the mandates won't work.
The problem is that I'm trying to overcome resistance, but the president's actions in a mandate hardens the resistance.
Several of the Republican governors, along with the Republican National Committee, are threatening to sue the Biden administration over these executive orders, calling them unconstitutional.
Certainly, this wouldn't have been put forward if the president of the administration didn't believe that it was an appropriate legal measure to take.
On ABC's This Week, U.S. Surgeon General Dr. Vivek Murthy defended the new mandates, not only from a public health perspective, but also an economic one.
We know that these kind of requirements actually work to improve our vaccination rates.
Murthy Fauci warned the battle against the pandemic will be won or lost, depending on whether more Americans take the shot in the coming weeks.
Well, some 80 million Americans remain unvaccinated, and the U.S. is seeing nearly twice the number of deaths compared to the same time last year.
And the United States crossed the 41 million COVID-19 case milestone late Saturday night. That's according to an NBC News tally, There was a decline in the spring, but cases have increased during the summer. Some states have seen a 25% increase in cases just in the last 2 weeks. As of late Saturday night, there were more than 662,000 people who died from the virus. And the city of Monroe has announced a temporary parking lot closure at Forsyth boat landing, which will go into effect tomorrow.
Well, due to a new project the city will be working on for the next 3 weeks, NBC 10's Valerie Riva has the details.
The temporary parking lot closure here at Forsyth boat landing will start Monday, September 13th.
The city of Monroe says only portions of the Forsyth boat landing will be closed. The new project will install additional drainage structures, and it will be mostly focused on the east half of the parking lot and 2 adjacent driveways at northeast and southeast corners. The west half of the parking lot will remain open at this time, but the closures will remain in place 24/7.
Again, this construction activity will begin on September 13, and it will run through Friday, October 1st. Now, the City of Monroe is asking all residents to pay attention to work crews and equipment. Reporting in Monroe, I'm Valerie Moravi, your weather station.
Thank you, Valerie Moravi. A Ruston murder suspect is in custody tonight. 24-year-old Frederic Tymon Evans is being charged with second-degree murder. Now, on September the 9th, Ruston police responded to a shooting on Winona Drive where officers, when they arrived, they found a 16-year-old victim suffering a gunshot wound who later died. Evans surrendered himself to police on Friday. He is being held on $1 million bond.
And a West Monroe man is also in jail on multiple felony counts. On yesterday, deputies received a tip that a stolen John Deere Gator from Kepler Equipment Rentals was stolen, and Samuel C. Allen Jr. has been booked into the Ouachita Correctional Center on counts of simple burglary, unauthorized use of a motor vehicle, and multiple counts of failure to appear in court. His bond is currently set at $70,000. And new at 10, the Delta Music Museum reopened its doors today with Keepin' the Blues Alive. This show featured local legends such as the YZ Ely Band and other special guests. The nonprofit organization was very big back in 2019 before getting hit by the pandemic. Now director of the Delta Music Museum, Linda Gardner, says tonight's show was the hope to bring back the spirit of traditional blues and head the museum in the right direction.
Well, I think live music always lightens the mood. I mean, music kind of lets you forget your troubles of the day. It always lifts my spirits. I mean, it's just, it brings people together. Did it really?
This show was attended by over 80 people. To make a donation or check out future events, you can go to deltamusicmuseum.com. Well, coming up on NBC 10 News at 10, locals react to 9/11 2 decades later. We'll have more on that story coming up after the break.
The NBC 10 Fox 14 Barron Weather App, sponsored by Kubota of Monroe. Weather has the most influence in how you plan your day. Is it going to rain? Will you need a jacket? Is it a good day for a run? The NBC 10 weather team is always there with the information you need to plan ahead. Join Chief Meteorologist Jared Floyd, Lexi Birmingham, Walker Snowden, and Brianna Medina. They'll let you know if you need an umbrella, if it's a good day to mow, or if you need to grab a coat for the game. NBC 10 is your weather station.
We can finally buy that solid gold rocket ship.
Whoa, whoa, whoa. Do we have a rocket ship license?
We have 6 players going, which means our probability of being passed is 92%.
$500,000? We could buy a regular rocket ship!
No more rocket ships.
Feel the NFL action like never before. Download the DraftKings Daily Fantasy app and get a free shot at $1 million.
I'm Attorney General Leslie Rutledge with a public service announcement about the COVID vaccine. Like you, I'm tired of the mask. Kids not in school, people not at work. But I'm sick of going to funerals. No one should be forced to get the shot. It's about personal responsibility. I got the shot this spring.
I got the shot.
I got the shot.
I got the shot.
Know the facts about the vax.
Get off Google and talk to your doctor.
Over 90% of Arkansans who have died from COVID did not get the shot. Know the facts about the vaccine.
Life is full of hopes.
We hope we keep our job.
We hope our kids succeed.
We hope for normal.
But our hopes often fall short.
Our hours were cut.
The kids are struggling.
Things are different.
But there is a different kind of hope.
And this hope will never disappoint us.
Visit hereforyou.org
and click Find God.
Louisiana Baptists, we're here for you.
News at 10 continues.
Well, welcome back. As we continue our weekend coverage of 9/11, NBC 10's Hunter Elise takes a look at how the community and those here at the station are remembering the events that changed our country and world forever.
9/11 was a day that changed the lives of all Americans. Whether you were an adult or a child at the time, 2 decades later, the impacts are still relevant. I spoke to residents right here in the Arklamas who say the impacts and memories they have from 9/11 is something they'll never forget.
I was 3 years old when 9/11 happened.
Oh my God, I was 44 years old.
I was probably about 9 years old.
I was around 3 or 4 years old.
I was 7 years old.
About 7 or 6.
I had to be close to 30 years old, but I was in my late 20s, and I remember going to 9/11, that location in downtown New York, just literally 2 days after the buildings went down.
It was scary because you didn't know what was happening. And it was live, and people were dying, and you wondered what was next. Were you next?
A very devastating time.
Yeah.
So they showed it on TV. We didn't know really what was going on, but it really was sad, though.
I remember sitting in my school hall amongst the 350 students that were there, and us all watching on the TV what was happening. And obviously, I was very young, couldn't comprehend what was going on, but we knew that it was constantly playing over and over. So it was pretty important.
My friend's dad was in the building when it was going down, and he saw this woman just like crying on the floor, and he was like, "We gotta go, we have to go down the stairs." And so she wasn't moving, so he picked her up and like ran her down 50 flights of stairs, and they got out safely like in time. It was crazy.
Because I really didn't understand when I was a kid. It was just like, I didn't know what that was. It was kind of devastating, though.
I actually went and got to go to the 9/11 Memorial Museum, and it completely rocked my world. You get to see the fire trucks, you get to see people's stories. They have little movies playing, and it just gives you chills. Like, I couldn't walk in there without crying because it's like I never completely understood what was happening, what people went through until I saw it firsthand.
The station I was working for at the time, they sent me there to give an assessment story of what happened. And me and my cameraman, when we landed, we had no idea that it was like a totally different world. There was dust all over the places. Buildings were damaged. The World Trade Center towers, you just still see the stems of the bottom of the building sticking up. Nothing had been done at that time.
My mom was actually teaching at a church conference whenever 9/11 happened, and she tells me that one of the pastors there actually was in the Air Force, and he got a phone call and was asked to leave and go search for people after 9/11 happened.
You want to be scared. Think about what it must feel like, unbelievable, to be on an airplane and to have it hijacked. To know you're going to crash, you're going to die.
Still feels like it just happened yesterday, but it didn't. Like, I can't believe it's been 20 years since that happened.
A day that we'll never forget. Well, weather's next. Meteorologist Brianna Medina is here. We'll have your full forecast when NBC 10 News at 10 continues.
Sit, Stay, and Play, modeled after a child's daycare.
Only these kiddos are doggos, and doggos like to play-o.
So they may be boarded,
but they'll never get bored. Loads of play and attention all through their visit.
A bath, groom, or nail trim can be done in-house with several options for accommodations. Sit, Stay, and Play is the place to be.
And the place to celebrate for dog birthdays, National Dog Day, back-to-school foam party,
Halloween costume contests, Topsgiving, Christmas celebrations, and so much more.
Sit, Stay, and Play. Boarding, daycare, and grooming.
I'm Buddy Ratliff. I'm pastor of Lakeside United Methodist Church. By getting the vaccination, we're taking responsibility to love and care for each other and to protect each other against this COVID disease. With the new variant, it's even more critical to protect especially our children, the ones under 12 that are unvaccinated, and it's just the right thing to do.
Learn more at healthy.arkansas.gov.
The Monroe Chamber of Commerce and Progressive Bank present the 15th Annual Golf Classic at Frenchman's Bend Golf Course. Friday, September 17th. Just $500 per team or $150 per person. Contact Daphne now to register or for more information. The NBC 10 Fox 14 Barron Weather App, sponsored by Sam Henry. Storm Tracker Doppler Radar, sponsored by Homeland Bank. Now, Storm Tracker weather with meteorologist Brianna Medina.
Our fall-like temperatures have finally come to an end, so we're seeing our temperatures right now be in the 80s to upper 90s, and so we are going to be seeing that trend come back once again. And what we're also seeing are warmer temperatures, and you can see all of our region is in green, indicating that our temperatures are above 65 degrees, so that's when you're going to be feeling that humidity outside. And so the reason why this humidity and this heat is back once again is because of that upper level ridge has finally weakened, letting in all of the Gulf moisture and that humidity in our region once again. And what it also brought along earlier today were little isolated showers within our area earlier today. And further south and along the coast, there is some isolated showers within that area. But what we are looking forward to, or monitoring rather, is Tropical Storm Nicholas. Now, right now it is in the Gulf, but it is expecting to travel inland within Monday near the Rio Grande Valley, and it is still going to be a tropical storm when it makes landfall, and it's going to continue making its way into Texas along the coast, but once it passes Houston, that is when it's going to start weakening, because of course once a system like this makes landfall, it starts weakening, and right when it passes Houston, it's going to weaken into a tropical depression, and then that's when it's starting to curve into our area. Now, we are still within the forecast cone, and so we are going to be expecting to get marginal rain, and even some areas are going to be from 2 to 4, even 6 inches of rain. Now, this is what we are going to be expecting within the next couple of days. Now, these amounts are for the next 6 days, and like I said, these areas may change because it's still very early on, and things may change overnight because the system is still in the Gulf. But as of tonight, our temperatures are still going to be nice. Our low is going to be 73 degrees and a very low chance of rain. Now, the majority of our rain is going to start tomorrow, being Monday. That is when we are going to have 50% chance of rain, and our high is going to be 85 degrees, which is a bit lower, but the reason why it's low is because of the amount of cloud cover we are going to be receiving. And then once that system, or the remnants of Tropical Storm Nicholas, makes its way into the Arkansas, that's when we're going to be seeing more of those chances of rain between Tuesday and Wednesday. And then these conditions are going to continue for the remaining of the week and into the next work week.
Well, thank you, Brianna. Coming up on NBC 10 News at 10, sports is next. The Saints look to start their season on the right foot, and Arkansas's football's great weekend continues. That's next.
Download the NBC 10 News app, sponsored by Ross Downs, attorney at law.
So what came first, the grilled cheese or the burger?
So you know the burger had to come first. You go back hundreds of years. Oh, cheese has been around hundreds of years, too.
Exactly. Okay. Sonic grilled cheeseburger. So
wow, this is a good debate.
Sleepy Hollow Furniture, celebrating 40 years of livable luxury.
In agriculture, they're friendships, partnerships, and business relationships. We're lucky to have all of those three with Goldman. It's truly a partnership. We run all John Deere equipment. Goldman Equipment's been a partner for us for, a good many years. We rely on them to keep our equipment up. Maintenance time is so essential, and the service we get and parts availability from Goldman is key to the success of our operation.
Goldman Equipment, we're not just in your field, we're in your backyard.
Get the 6-minute advantage with the live Storm Tracker Doppler radar on NBC 10, your weather station, sponsored by Homeland Bank. Where's your money?
I had a lot of struggle with deciding on whether or not to get this vaccine, and so I decided to look at the research, not to look at what I was reading and watching on social media, but what was science. And so ultimately I decided to get the vaccine. This new Delta variant, it's killing young people. It's now targeting our children. Talk to a trusted medical provider. Knowing what I know today, I wish I would have made this decision 6 months ago.
Could your yard use a makeover? Let Sammy's Plant World help you create your dream yard. Now's the time to get started and transform your yard from this to this. Sammy's Plant World. Call today and we'll do the rest.
Two moms on a yacht. We're really in the backyard in a blow-up pool. Like, isn't this the life?
It is. You can pretend.
I pretend all day. Sonic uncorked slushes.
I could totally see myself drinking this on a boat.
Oh, yeah.
Meteorologist Lexi Birmingham. Mornings on NBC 10 News Today. Now, local sports with Stephen Pappas.
It was a very successful start to the post-Drew Brees era for the New Orleans Saints. And even though this game was not played at Caesars Superdome, the black and gold felt right at home. The Saints demolished the Packers in Jacksonville this afternoon, 38-3, highlighted by a 5-touchdown, 0-interception afternoon from quarterback Jameis Winston. Winston only threw for 148 yards, but those 5 touchdowns were plenty much made up for the lack of yards. The Saints also ran the ball very effectively, averaging 4.38 yards per carry. The defense, they stood tall too, holding a Green Bay offense of Aaron Rodgers, Devontae Adams, and Aaron Jones to under 230 total yards. The Saints will look to keep the momentum up into next week as they will face off with the 1-0 Carolina Panthers in Raleigh. And it's being reported by Pro Football Talk that Saints cornerback Marshawn Lattimore suffered a thumb injury this afternoon, and he will have surgery to repair it. We'll keep you updated as more information comes out on that. And it's been 4 years and 10 months. If you're counting those days, it's 1,765 since Arkansas football was ranked. And that drought ends today. The Razorbacks came in at number 20 in the latest AP poll after their dominant 40-21 victory over formerly number 15 Texas. With Arkansas in the top 25, 5 of the 7 SEC West teams are represented in the poll, with LSU and Mississippi State the only 2 not ranked. Hogs head coach Sam Pittman likes where his team is at and thinks they're here to stay.
The greatest thing about our team, and it happened last year, is when we played a pretty good first half against Georgia, and I've said it before, and then went to Mississippi State and won, went to Auburn and had the call at the end, come back home, beat Ole Miss. Our team, our coaches have done a really good job of saying, okay, well, you can take the pats on the back, but when we get in here on Monday, we've got to go play Georgia Southern. They've done a really good job with that. The next step, I don't know, Trey. I think we took a step already.
The number 20 Razorbacks have a tune-up game with Georgia Southern next week before a 4-week stretch against ranked SEC opponents. And let's take a look at some of the later games that happened tonight in the NFL's Week 1. The Chiefs coming back to defeat the Browns 33-29. That moves Patrick Mahomes to 11-0 for his career in the month of September. The Dolphins edging out the Patriots 17-6. Tua Tagovailoa, a couple of touchdown passes. The Broncos handling the Giants very well at MetLife Stadium, 27-13. And the final game that you just watched, Sunday Night Football, the Rams taking down the Bears 34-14. A last look at your forecast after the break. You're watching NBC 10 News.
Hi, my name is Chris Lewis. At the age of 17, I worked for Coney Island Connection right here on the corner of North 7 Arkansas Road. Today, I'm the proud owner of Coney Island Connection. For nearly 20 years now, we've served the Arkansas with our fast, friendly service and our famous chili cheeseburgers and chili cheese dogs, where the chili is homemade. I'm asking you to stop by today and give us a try. We also serve hot tamales, roast beef po' boys, fried pickles, and fried green beans. We even serve ice cream. I guarantee you won't be disappointed. It's just like eating at home, right here at Coney Island Connection on the corner of North 7 and Arkansas Road.
At Jim Taylor Auto Group, we like to make the impossible possible. No matter your game, we've got the specials for you. With us, it's all about the experience. Like the feeling you get when you cross the goal line to score the winning touchdown or birdie the last hole to win the tournament. At the end of the day, it doesn't really matter what you're into. Just put your game face on and come experience what we're all about at Jim Taylor Chevrolet.
I was a bit apprehensive about getting the vaccine, but for me, the benefits really outweighed the risks.
I'm always at risk of being exposed to it. I have a 7-month-old baby, I have a 5-year-old daughter, and I have a 9-year-old stepson, and my husband, and I just wanted to protect them.
I was very excited whenever I heard that the COVID-19 vaccines had received approval for emergency use. The healthcare providers were relieved as they received the vaccine. It was a godsend.
And I did not want to go back to feeling the way I felt when I had COVID.
Maya Hudgens and Hunter Elise, weekday mornings on NBC 10 News Today.
Let's look at our 7-day forecast. Now, later on tonight, we are going to have a small chance of rain, but that's going to change starting tomorrow. Tomorrow, we are going to have 50% chance of rain, and then Tuesday to Wednesday, once the remnants of Tropical Storm Nicholas makes its way into the Archimedes, that's when our precipitation chances are going to be increasing, and then this is going to continue within the next couple days and into the following weekend as well.
Well, we want to send a special happy birthday to Mr. Lawrence Brooks.
Yes, he's the oldest living World War II veteran.
And he's also a proud Louisianan.
That's right. Mr. Lawrence turns 112 years old today. As you can see, he had quite the celebration, and I can peep him wearing a Saints jersey, Stephen, so I'm sure it was a great day for him, and we understand that Jeremy is also a big Saints fan, and a big weekend for you as you debut as a weekend anchor.
Yes, I'm very excited to be here.
Yeah.
Great weekend then for you. Yeah. Saints win. First full weekend anchoring, it's incredible.
Right, I'm enjoying I've enjoyed this short time that I've been here already. You guys have been so welcoming and so kind to me. Thank y'all so much.
Yeah, and you bring the mist to the Ark Mist now.
Yeah. Yes, we finally have the mist. The mist of the Ark Mist.
You've been the mist, and we have you now. All right, well, end the show.
Well, thank you so much for watching NBC 10 News at 10. We'll see you right back here tomorrow starting at 5 a.m.